Слава Україні!
Hey guys, Comrade Matt here, and we are back with the Dawn Donbass Crisis mod. And this video is actually a update on the units. The mod's been updated several times, and most of these units were actually added a while ago, but because it was all kind of just spaced out, I didn't want to do like maybe one or 2 minute video showing just like a few units. I thought I'd wait till there's like a good chunk of them added, and yeah, so I have that now. So here we go. First, we are starting with the National Armed Forces of Novorossiya. The first unit here is the Cossack National Guard. And I guess most of these guys are from Russia, or, you know, that hat style is kind of the Russian Cossack style of the Caucasus. I think it even has like the little communist star. Anyway, I'm not too sure when this unit was formed, or what exactly it does. Maybe it's just a random regiment that formed, I guess, like most. Pretty cool. I like the hat. It's like my favorite hat, and I think because they're like a National Guard unit, they might not take a bunch of active fighting, though I guess since Novorossiya is a tiny puppet state, they would have to, because it's like 2 cities and a few villages. But yeah, they're pretty cool looking, a nice addition, good variety. Where we are moving on to the next unit, Death Battalion, and these guys have a really cool cap. You can't really see it there. It's like it's a soldier of some kind? I don't know. It's weird. But these guys have the Chechen patch, so maybe they're like local Chechens who I guess decided to fight for Russia and kind of volunteered to fight against Ukraine. I'm not too aware of the I guess the background of this unit. Still pretty cool. I can't really see who that guy is, but I'm sure you could just search up Death Battalion or whatever and you'll find it. Moving on, we have the Unit Continental. I don't know exactly who they are, but they have Serb patches, so I don't know, maybe some local Serbs of some form. Serb volunteers, I guess, but they're pretty cool. I don't think they're a specialty unit of any kind, just standard infantry. Oh, I just paused. But yeah, they all have that St. George ribbon on their elbow, or most of them do. Yeah, I just wonder what Unit Continental is supposed to be, but yeah, let's see. Moving on, we are now looking at the Slavyansk Battalion, which I guess formed during the occupation of Slavyansk, and they have a cool patch of some form. I think that's a bear? Yeah, I think it's a bear. Pretty cool unit. Maybe they defended Slavyansk, and then I guess to remember their time there, they named themselves after the city. But yeah, it's a cool unit. Very uniformed. By uniformed, I mean like they all have a kind of a closer, similar style. It's not as like crazy range of like colors and whatnot. They don't see any like civilian clothing on. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Here we go with the next unit being the Wagner Private Military Company. And I don't remember if I read this correctly or not, but I think this is like Putin's personal military group or something. I could be completely wrong, but I remember seeing something about it. I didn't bother to read the article, but it was something about like Putin's Wagner PMC or something. And anyway, they're a pretty cool unit. They look a lot more elite-ish, kind of looking with their balaclavas and almost a uniformed kind of look as well. That guy particularly just seems to have a really angry look. But yeah, I'm not too sure about that, but still a pretty cool unit, a nice addition. And so that's it for the Novorossians and the new units for them, for now at least. Now we're going to move on to new Ukrainian units. This is the 10 Ogshber I don't know if that's like it's OGSHBR, 10 OGSHBR, which maybe stands for something. I don't really know what these guys are. They're very uniformed, very professional looking, which is cool. Yeah, that must be like an abbreviation of some sort. Otherwise, you'd be saying like Ogshper, the 10th Ogshper, which doesn't make sense to me. Still a pretty cool unit. The officer, or the squad lead, has a beret, which a lot of West European militaries now seem to have instead of like a cap. So moving on, we have the Dnipro 1 Battalion, and these guys are pretty cool. They have the yellow armband, because they were one of the very first volunteer battalions to really take into the fighting, and the way that they distinguished themselves as friendly, as most Ukrainian units did in the early days of the war, was yellow armbands. They had them on their helmets and on the side straps too. I think they took part in the Battle of Ilovaisk, I can't be sure. But I think these guys named themselves Dnipro 1 from the city Dnipropetrovsk, which now I think is renamed to Dniproa, because Dnipropetrovsk was a Soviet name. Yeah, a pretty cool unit. Next we move on to Kiev 1 Battalion. And these guys are pretty cool looking. They have more of a white winterish camo, most of the unit. It's like that. It's got a really cool armband too. I'll try zooming in on that. Yeah, it's like you can see it, Kiev 1, the Trizub, and oh yeah, it's a really cool unit. It's very unique and distinguishing looking from the rest of the army units. It's not like standard green and standard tan camo for most units. It's like this whitish color, which I think is pretty cool. Alright, so moving on. This is a detachment of the National... or was it National Guard? I think it was the National Guard. It's called Kruk, which is a special unit of some sort. And as you can see here, actually, they got a cool patch there with like an eagle or some kind of bird. Very cool looking unit. I don't know exactly what it is they do. They're just like another internal troops unit. This guy's got an interesting body armor. I haven't seen that on many units, but still a pretty cool unit. Moving on, we are now looking at the... Let me see if I'm going to pronounce this right. Zvityaz Battalion, or maybe Zvityaz Special Forces. Not too sure, but pretty cool unit. They too seem to have a special patch of some sort, a shield with a cross. I'm not too sure what this unit does, but very nice looking. A good addition. And now moving on to one of my newer favorite units. Again, still tied with Donbass Battalion, you know. But these guys are the Jaguar unit. And they're clearly a police unit of some sort because of the mask they wear, a special forces police of some sort. And they just look really cool. I love the lettering on the back. I guess that spells out Jaguar. It's really awesome looking. Maybe they're like a special anti-riot because they have the face mask. Because the face mask wouldn't really be useful in a combat situation. I mean, I guess just any kind of mask really wouldn't, but that in particular I don't think would be too useful because you'd get dirt and block up your face. But moving on now, we are looking at Omega Battalion, or maybe Squad. But it's pretty cool. They're both them and the Jaguar are under a tab called VV, which I don't know what that's supposed to stand for, but yeah, they've got a cool patch there. Can't really tell what that is, but still very nice. Moving on, we are now looking at the Carpathia Sich, or Carpatha Sich, and they're a pretty cool unit. They're just another volunteer unit like most. They seem a little uniform too. They have their own like custom patch thing that they made. It's a pretty good unit. Don't know exactly what they're catered to doing, but very cool nonetheless. And now we're moving on to the last one, the UN, or OUN. Maybe it's a special unit of some sort, or maybe it's an abbreviation for something, but still very cool. A lot more mismatched with its camo. It's more like a like volunteers kind of unit, you know, the silenced machine gun, desert camo right there. That, yeah, just kind of a much more random looking unit, but still pretty cool. And that's actually it for all the currently added units to the game. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and have a good day as always.